Securing data is useful. Securing
what data are you securing?
Any data that you would
What
want.
data are you securing?
Financial data, mortgage data.
But on your
personal data,
if I have one,
my birth certificate, my personal data, my verification of who I am. So I don't need Equifax to sell my data and lose my data and my data. I can have my data on a private key and say, this is me. It's immutable. It's every 10 minutes. It's verified. And that's who I am. Give me my money.
You don't need Bitcoin either.
Yes, you do, because it's the most secure. It's the only secure database that's ever been invented. That's the technology. You fail to understand that it's a new technology that is as profound as the printing press or the electric light bulb. You're comparing it to things that you shouldn't be comparing it to. It makes no sense. You're talking nonsense.
Yeah, this is
it's a brand new breakthrough in technology. Your kids are going to be wondering why their dad didn't see the value. They'll be like, Dad must have been on drugs because he never saw the value.
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great start to your week so far. Having a look at Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, we are having yet another day of red. Now, keep in mind, we did have 6 straight weeks of nothing but upwards growth, and we are having a bit of a pullback. We are still in the ascending wedge. We're going to get into that in just a second. However, currently, we have been sort of tumbling these past few days. But guys, today's video, we are not going to focus on just price. Yes, we're going to talk about the markets, of course, but I have something much bigger, much more important that we need to get into. And if you are new to the channel, if you're a regular subscriber, today's video is extremely important. In fact, share this video with a friend if you find value out of it, because we are going to get into so much nitty-gritty dirt, conspiracies. We're going to go into all types of things today. That's exactly why I actually had the Max Kaiser intro. I thought it was a great way to start today's video because there is something going on in the background, guys. There is definitely manipulation. There is something going on with accumulation with these major whales. They're calling them the blue whales that have multiple billions of dollars of Bitcoin. Then all of a sudden you're hearing this FUD about the US regulating crypto and putting down the boot. What is going on? We're going to get into that, guys. And if that sounds good to you, you know what to do. Also, if you're not subscribed, definitely get subscribed. We do this every single day. Hit the bell notification. And today we are giving away a Ledger Nano S hardware wallet. That's at the end of the video. If you want to enter to win, definitely drop a comment, but stick with me. Today's video is going to be freaking awesome. So, having a look, let's give this a quick refresh live. Super quick, we do have to talk about markets. Now look at this, guys. Bitcoin dominance up almost 2%. A lot of those altcoin gains are going right back into Bitcoin, right? So we actually are seeing Bitcoin not fall as hard as some of the other coins today. We have a few gainers today up. We do have Hedera, Hashgraph, Centrality, Elf, Chiliz, which I do have a story about, Wax, Molecular, Future, Ren, Multi-Collateral. I'm not really sure what that is, Synthetics Network. But let's talk about the price because we have had a bit of a pullback. However, we did bounce back off of the VPVR right here at around the $9,348 level. That was a high level for accumulation for Bitcoin. So we are noticing that that has been respected. One thing I want to point out too, a lot of people freaking out like, oh my goodness, the price is falling. Have a look at the hike in Nishi candles, and you can see essentially since the beginning of the year, we've put in absolutely nothing but green weekly candles, and in fact, technically, we're still hanging around in the green zone on the hike in Nishi, right? Now, moving on, I just want to point out, it's not really as bad as everyone thinks it is. I mean, we're up over 40%. We have, an 8% pullback. Everybody runs for the hills. Come on, guys, this is crypto. Having a look right here, we are still being supported by the ascending wedge. However, we have fallen below the basis, the pink line of the Bollinger Bands. Now, this is sort of technically a bearish indicator. Now, you do know that if you look up a textbook rising wedge, that usually does end in a dump. We haven't seen the dump yet. We've only respected the bottom of the trend. So as of today's video, okay, we'll take it with a grain of salt. Could we see more down? Could we see the Bitcoin fall lower? Absolutely. I mean, we could fall down to the green trend right here that we had at the bottom of the China pump. If we were to go straight down, tomorrow, that's around the 9.2K, 9.3K level. Now, Dave the Wave, he was the one that actually predicted sort of the reversal. Pretty damn accurate, actually. I got to give the guy credit. He says he could see an $8,400 Bitcoin. So are you mentally prepared for that? Did you just recently buy? Because everybody was complaining when we were over $10,000. I can't get in. It's too high. Well, now's your chance to buy below 10K. And is anyone buying, or is everyone too scared right now? Well, he says for those getting stuck or confused on the shorter term call, here's my view going forward. If you're a holder or investor, he says ignore the short term calls and focus on the medium long term. Main point being a consolidation to a buy zone, which would set Bitcoin up nicely for its massive run. And by the way, he does think that we are likely due for a massive bull run. In fact, he does think this is the beginning of it. Now, interestingly enough, you'll notice that CME futures, for example, right, we ended up dumping. Now, a lot of people, including myself, I'm going to be totally honest, thought we would pump up to fill the gap. Now, going back to this, I kind of forgot that traditional stocks don't trade on holidays. Today is a holiday. You can see right here, it's President's Day. So traditional trading doesn't happen. Now, there is still trading on futures, but I think that may be why we're seeing something kind of happen in the charts right now. You're not having that full, massive volume that you usually have. So probably tomorrow, we're going to probably see those traders come back into the market. I kind of forgot about that yesterday. However, we are sitting right on the critical level at the top of the resistance. You can see right here, we're looking between the 9,478, 9,573. We're currently sitting at 9,595. This is a very critical level. If we fall below it, well, then we are no longer breaking the downtrend, and we do risk falling to the bottom of this sort of short-term ascending wedge, which I'm going to be totally honest with you guys, is sitting at around, and get ready for this, $7,000, right? But keep in mind, if we were to fall to 7,000, we would still be in the uptrend moving towards the halving, right? Just want to point that out moving forward. So more opportunity to dollar cost average. And before we get into the main news of the day, do not go anywhere. I wanted to point out the fact that we are still in the green as far as the super guppy is concerned. As you can tell, once we tend to turn green after a major downtrend, we tend to stay green for a while. Well, obviously we had the massive red during the crazy dump. We had the pump, the little sell-off, and currently we are back in the green again, okay? So a little bit of a mixed signal going on. I'm still leaning more towards the bullish side. I do think we can have a pullback, but for me, I'm looking to accumulate the dips, okay? That's what I'm doing because personally, I know what's going to happen to this coin, and I know what's going forward. But enough about that. You guys already know how I feel about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Here is what I want to talk about. This is the FUD that you're seeing. We went over this the other day on the channel. We spoke about this, but somehow the media has figured out a way to flip this into a very horrifying situation and freak everybody out, right? So essentially you had, Mnuchin, he is essentially the US Treasury, Secretary of Treasury, he says, we want to make sure that technology moves forward. But on the other hand, we want to make sure that cryptocurrencies aren't used for the equivalent of old Swiss secret number bank accounts, right? Now, some people are saying this is a big blow to Bitcoin. Regulation is coming. Everybody be scared. Sell your Bitcoin. Interesting how this guy comes out again with his opinions about cryptocurrency. Keep in mind, last year, he warned that Bitcoin would not be used widely in 10 years' time, and he said that it would be considered a U.S. national security risk. Now, stick with me. This is the mind-blowing part, okay? So this comes out July 18th. Now, this is a CNBC interview with Joe Kernan. You may have seen this, you may have not. I'm going to play this clip right now for you super quick in which Joe Kernan says to him, well, isn't the US dollar mostly used for nefarious activities? I mean, much more than Bitcoin, right? And let's listen to this guy's response, almost like as if he's ignorant to the reality that the dollar is actually used for nefarious purposes. But I'm going to play this clip, and then we're definitely going to talk about it afterwards.
We'd have a problem if we decided every time that cash itself or any other form of currency, every time it's used for some nefarious activities, if we weren't going to use it anymore. I'm not sure that maybe it's a little easier at this point in the technology for certain illicit activities, but that can't be the reason to say you're not going to use something. We wouldn't even use cash then, because cash is laundered all the time and used for nefarious that's all we've ever used for nefarious activities, and we certainly had plenty of them.
I don't think that's accurate at all. That cash is laundered all the time. We have the strongest AML system in the world. We just came back from FATF, where on a global basis they've agreed to implement money laundering. I think, as you know, we use sanctions tools. So we combat bad actors in the U.S. dollar every day to protect the U.S. financial system. And what we're saying is
there's been a lot of nefarious activities historically, and it's never involved Bitcoin. So obviously, it's been pretty successfully done with cash. That's all I'm saying. unless you think there hasn't
I
been.
don't think it's been successfully done with cash. I'll push back on that. We're going to make sure that Bitcoin doesn't become the equivalent to Swiss numbered bank accounts, which were obviously a real risk to the financial system.
So you mean to tell me that the Secretary of Treasury doesn't admit the fact that cash has been used mostly for nefarious activities like laundering, et cetera, et cetera? I mean, come on, like how ignorant can you be? Or you're just straight up lying. Now, here is the kicker. This came out on July 18th, right? Now, if we have a look at the chart, okay, going back to the high that we had last year, that was right around this time period, but that is not even the mind-blowing part about it. What's more crazy is we had this tweet from Donald Trump where he said he was not a fan of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies which are not money and whose value is highly volatile and based on thin air. Unregulated crypto assets can facilitate unlawful behavior, including drug trade and other illicit activities. Now, when did this tweet come out? You cannot make this up. This came out exactly 1 week earlier on July 11th. Now, let me show you on the charts where July 11th took place. Literally right here at the end of potentially what you could call the double top, and that was our first red Heiken-Ashi candle that we essentially put in before really just putting in this massive multi-month downtrend, okay? Coincidence or not? The president happened to just sort of tweet at the top or not? You can say what you want about that. I'm going to continue. We have more to go on this, okay? That's just the first part of it. So going back to this over here, you could see that you also had Minneapolis Fed President Neil Kashkari said that cryptocurrencies lack the basic characteristics of any stable currency. The reason that the dollar has value is because the U.S. government has a legal monopoly on producing the dollar. That's what gives it value? That's your reason? Except for, there's only 21 million Bitcoin ever, but we don't have to get into that argument today, right? Also, the Department of Justice prosecutors this week branded Bitcoin mixing software, Bitcoin mixers that, essentially mix up your coins to help you stay more anonymous, right? Designed to mask the origin of Bitcoin transactions is considered money laundering. Now, I just want to kind of throw that out there. If you're using a centralized exchange, you're basically doing the same thing. I mean, I'm not trying to be the guy to point it out, but if you send one Bitcoin to Binance and then you instantly withdraw one Bitcoin from Binance, literally within a minute apart from each other, you're not going to get back the same Bitcoin that you sent, right? You're going to get a mixture of everybody else's Bitcoin. So does that mean that all of these centralized exchanges are all money laundering services without really trying to be it? I mean, just let me know what you guys think. But technically, when you send money to an exchange and you take your coin off, you don't get the same coins, right? Think about that. Not trying to say anything. I just a side note, right? Here is the kicker. So for the first time, over 18 million addresses have been holding Bitcoin for over 1 year. Think about that. 18 million addresses have been holding Bitcoin for over 1 year. Now, I know there's a lot of Bitcoin that's been lost, right? There's estimated to be around 4 million, but we're talking about 18 million individual addresses that have just hodled. They've not spent it, right? They must see some kind of value. Now, here's the interesting. Hodlers currently have a total balance of almost 8 million Bitcoin. This has increased significantly from a year ago, right? The 18 million addresses represent 64% of the total number of non-zero addresses, which is up from 62% a year ago. So basically, cryptocurrency holders are obsessed with large round numbers. We know this. The $10,000 level has been very significant. We kind of can't seem to get above it, right? We also notice a lot of people striving for 1 Bitcoin, 10 Bitcoin, etc. The number of addresses with 100 Bitcoin or more is also currently at an all-time high, which means that we have more Bitcoin whales than we've ever had before. So that is a lot of freaking 100 Bitcoin, guys? That's a lot of money. Seriously, think about that. So let's scroll down here, and here's the crazy part. Having a look at this chart right here, with the halving approaching, there are 2 addresses, okay? 2, that have constantly been accumulating throughout the entire up and down. They've been buying high, they've been buying low, they've been buying in the middle, and they have been nonstop increasing their concentration. The interesting thing is that these whale wallets, these blue whale wallets, cannot really be tied to any particular exchange. And let's be honest, that would be way more money than any of these cold storage would hold on any given day, right? So basically for these crypto, they say they managed to reach 1.4% and 1% of the total circulating supply, which means these 2 blue whale wallets, these unknown wallets, okay, have 2.4% of the entire circulating supply, around 255,000 Bitcoin and 182,000 Bitcoin, respectively, being 2.6 billion and 1.9 billion. These persons or institutions clearly have an interest in Bitcoin. But who are they? Who are these two blue wallets that are holding all of these Bitcoins? Well, I had a video that I put out January 8th, 2019, okay? Some of you may have not been following me back then. Now, this video kind of got a lot of mixed reviews. A lot of people weren't really sure what was going on. This was about Russia potentially sparking the next bull run. Now, if I zoom in, this article for some reason got deleted. Conspiracy? Couldn't find the article, but I do have the proof in this video. You can see right here, it says the direction in which Russia is going also gives hints towards Bitcoin adoption. Russia is on a hoarding spree, adding 36.6 tons of gold to its reserve in November last year, following 0.9 ton in October and 37.8, right? So this is talking about gold. Now you could see this video came out on January 8th. 4 months later, Bitcoin had its massive blast off and started its parabolic run. But you're probably saying, wait, what are you talking about? This is gold. I'm not done yet, okay? Also, talking about this high-profile Russian economist, this was an article that was on Mickey. I forget the guy's name down here. Vladislav Ginko is his name. Anyway, he basically believes that the Russian government would begin investing billions of dollars into Bitcoin as early as next month. At the time of this article, next month would have been February. 2 months before we had the massive blast off. You're probably saying, well, weren't they accumulating OTC? Okay, probably, but keep in mind, Bitcoin miners can only make so much Bitcoin so fast, right? Somebody was clearly buying up so much Bitcoin that eventually there was no choice but to push up the price on the spot market. You can see right here, scrolling down, in his opinion, the first wave of significant Russian government investment into Bitcoin could begin within weeks and would be worth billions of dollars. Now, going back to these two whale wallets, could they potentially be a country? Could it be Russia? Could it be the US? Could it be China, right? Well, they'd be pretty stupid to hold it all in one wallet, but then again, we're talking about governments here, guys, right? Keep in mind, this could all just be a crazy conspiracy. Please drop your comments below. Am I crazy? Or is this all starting to seem kind of strange, right? They're coming out, they're fudding it, right? But at the same time, you're seeing all this massive accumulation in the back end. Something is definitely happening in the background. Now, I do want to play this clip from Max Kaiser. See, I told you I was going to tie into the beginning of what he said over on the InfoWars podcast. Now, I do hope that I can play this clip. I hope I don't get my video demonetized because you know how that goes. But check out what he said and what these guys are doing right now and how a lot of them are actually leaving the traditional systems for fiat and moving over to things like Bitcoin, okay? And let me play this clip for you right now, and then we still have a lot more to talk about.
Exactly right. And, you know, this revolution is going to be successful because the regulators who are in position to try to stop this revolution, when they start buying Bitcoin, then the revolution is won. Because the regulators get paid in fiat money, dollars, and those fiat money dollars are becoming increasingly worthless. So as they reject fiat money and take Bitcoin themselves, then the cops join the revolution, then we win. And that's happening now. A lot of regulators are quitting their jobs as regulators and joining Bitcoin startups because they know that this thing is unstoppable. It's unconfiscatable. It's immutable. It's the gold 2.0. Every single other coin out there.
Well, okay, he goes on to talk about other coins. We do know that Max Kaiser is a Bitcoin maximalist, okay? But I just wanted you to just take that away from the fact that you're seeing these people move into the crypto space, move into Bitcoin and get away from the fiat system because they know it's just being injected with fake money, right? It's being pumped up. I mean, the stock markets are at an all-time high, right? But what does that even mean? When most of it isn't backed by anything and it's literally just being injected, right? Crazy. Now, if that's not enough to blow your mind, how about over here at Zintellect? Now, this says evaluating the impact of the US dollar losing its status as world reserve currency, right? Now, this is from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, and guess what? These guys are hiring for a new project. You could scroll down and actually see some of the qualifications. You must be a US citizen, PhD in relevant field, et cetera, et cetera. I'll drop this below. But here is the interesting thing. Relevance to the intelligence of the community. Now you are noticing these guys are getting desperate. They are seeing what Bitcoin is able to do to the traditional finance system. Maintaining the US dollar as the world reserve currency is vital for the national security community. It enables the US to impose and enforce sanctions on entities that violate treaties or international law. Having U.S. dollar transactions settle through the U.S. gives law enforcement jurisdiction to investigate, charge, and convict criminals of financial crimes such as money laundering, fraud, and terrorist financing. You with me, guys? Since the U.S. dollar holds value through time, it is the safest currency in which to conduct international business transactions. I mean, I guess they kind of have a point, right? But here is the part where it gets crazy. This gives the US global economic dominance. Essentially, you're kind of just being like a big bully in a way, right? If the US dollar loses its status, these national security advantages disappear, leaving the US vulnerable. This project could allow the national security community to prepare for and defeat scenarios that could prevent this economic crisis. Okay? So why are they hiring people for this project? If they're not worried, if they're not scared. I mean, literally, the whole idea is to protect the value of the dollar. They're going to do anything that they can. Are they going to ban Bitcoin? They could ban Bitcoin, but I'll tell you what, I guarantee you, even if they do ban Bitcoin, they're going to continue to accumulate it on the low. And then 5 years later, they're going to come out, you know what they're going to say? Oh, yeah, you know what? We changed our mind on Bitcoin. We're going to allow Bitcoin back now that we've accumulated so much in the background and we have control and we've given them basically the power that they already have currently right now, right? Aren't we trying to get away from this legacy system? I mean, look what they did. I don't want to get on this topic, but I mean, kind of, even if you look what happened with like marijuana in the US, right? I mean, how many people were in jail, right, for selling it? And now, you know, you can get it legally in places like California. You can get it with prescriptions in places like New York, right? Well, they figured out ways to tax it, right? And that's all it is to them. It's just about money, power, and control. And if you don't believe me, and I know you've probably seen this video, but if you haven't, if you're new, if you've seen this, skip on past it. If you're new to the channel, this is a video called The Great Crypto Conspiracy, FUD High, then Buy Low, How the Rich Get Richer. And I need to show you this clip because once again, this is Jamie Dimon over from JP Morgan, right? He's saying, don't buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin's a fraud. Anyone that I see, that I find buying Bitcoin, I'm going to fire them. Meanwhile, they're in the back buying it. So watch this video. And then once again, we have more to talk about.
I know personally, I know people that would have gotten in or stayed in if these people weren't saying what they're saying.
Right. And so this has really been extremely egregious. So on September 12th, Jamie Dimon says Bitcoin is a fraud. He says he'll fire any one of his traders buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin drops 24%. When Jamie Dimon speaks,
People listen.
people listen. So that weekend, we found out that the largest buyer of a Bitcoin fund that's in Europe that buys physical Bitcoin, right? The largest buyer was Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan. And that's not illegal.
He says it's a fraud.
It says you fire anyone that buys it. Yes.
And at the same time, his company is buying
His
it.
company is buying it.
It's just, I mean, so unethical.
Right.
So as you can see, once again, these guys are afraid that the price is slipping away. They don't want to give the power to the retail investors. You can see right here, you know, yes, we did have a double top, which could like textbook be potentially a reversal. But interestingly enough, if we go back, that is exactly the last time that we also had the FUD came out. Last time we had this double top right here, we had President Trump's tweet, and then we had Mnuchin come out and basically say that we need to slam down on the regulation for cryptocurrencies. And then fast forward to today, we're having these two tops. So the double top right here, and once again, we're having Mnuchin come out once again saying that we need to regulate Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Let me know what you guys think. I just wanted to bring that to you. I just wanted to let you guys know, do what you want. You want to sell your Bitcoin, go ahead. Me, I dollar cost average. I know the value of Bitcoin. I know where the space is going. I know that these guys want to take your Bitcoin from you at any cost possible, whether that means fudding, they're going to do whatever they can to get that Bitcoin. And I'll tell you what, there's only 21 million in the world. 4 of them are lost forever. Satoshi has his. There's not enough for each millionaire in the world. Just think about that. Just think about the power of Bitcoin moving forward and how early you are to even be in this space and have the opportunity to even hold one. Do you even know what 1 Bitcoin is going to be worth in our lifetime? I don't even want to make the prediction. I don't. Because, you know, I could think a lot. I mean, for example, Max Kaiser, he actually thinks that Bitcoin is now going to be worth around $400,000. The reason that he says that is because of sorry, I lost my train of thought. The reason he says that it's going to be 400,000 is because basically if you take the gold market cap, which is like 7 point something trillion, and you assume that Bitcoin is digital gold, then that's how you get 400,000. Sorry about that, guys. I started thinking about some other stuff, but I can only fit so much in this video. I think that's enough for me. I do have some quick news I just wanted to go over, but let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know what you think about this manipulation potentially, and how it's just kind of very convenient that these sort of happen around the same time each time, right? So moving on, I do have 2 bits of adoption I wanted to talk about. Number 1 being that, once again, we do have news from Chile. So basically, they partnered with marketing agency, I'm probably saying this wrong, Lagardère Sports, please correct me, I know I said that wrong, and entertainment, and basically they're going to help expose Chiles and the socios to teams in major sports leagues, such as National Football Leagues, Major League Baseball, where average team valuations are in the billions. Sports, guys, we're seeing sports really be that big sort of area recently, right? You're seeing these NFTs, you're seeing tokenization, so that is just one thing moving forward. And finally, big news, I know a lot of people in my my Telegram group are talking about this, but BAB, which is a crypto banking app for managing tokens and fundraising, has successfully held its beta launch event. So a lot of people are excited. Some of the problems that they solve: removing barriers for fundraisers, reduced operational overheads through technology, lowering barriers of entry to the cryptocurrency ecosystem, removing third parties, and reducing cross-border transaction costs, right? By you can utilize their token, steadily, convert it back and forth, right? So these are all just things moving forward. And yeah, I think that's enough for today's video. Oh, we still have to give away a ledger. Almost forgot. So we do have to give that away. We did have 6 videos last week. So, man, a lot of stuff we went over. I know it was a lot of stuff, guys. I was rambling, but I'll drop the links below. Make sure you go in the description, check it out. You can do more research yourself. I don't want to tell you guys what to do, but I do want to help to sort of show you what's happening out there. So this is number 5. All right, so that is the Bitcoin dumper fake out video. We will copy this, go over to our random number, or random comment picker, I should say. Let's see how many comments we had on that video. 577 unique comments. All right, drum roll please for the ledger. Finally, a bit of a pullback. Now let's all buy the dip so it goes back up. YCSUT? Not sure how you pronounce your name, but buddy, you are the winner. Congratulations. I agree. People, they get so mad over these dips. It's like you were all bitching and complaining when it was over 10,000. It's under 10,000. If something was on sale and you went in a store, wouldn't you buy it, right? You buy things when they're on sale. It's really weird. Like in the real world, when things are green, your stoplight is green, you go, red, you stop. It's like the opposite in like investing, right? When it's red, you go. When it's green, you stop, right? That you kind of got to like flip it around. But congratulations, you are the winner. Not drop a comment. Hit me up on my official about me section. You can hit me up in my email or in the Telegram. Nowhere else. Don't go in the comments. There's lots of scammers down there. I never do giveaways in the comments. I only do them on the video, my official email, or my official Telegram. That is it. Thank you so much, guys, for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. Having a quick look. What are we doing? It looks like we're trying to have a little bit of a relief bounce back. Will we be able to? Well, there is more chance to go down, guys. Let's be honest. But with every opportunity that the price pulls back, it's just another chance for the average person to own more of this amazing coin, which is Bitcoin. And you guys know how I feel about the dips. I buy the damn dips. That being said, thank you so much for coming back to the channel. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you found value out of it, feel free to smash the like. You don't have to. Just watching the video is enough for me. But if you think anyone will find value out of this video, do share this. Share it on Twitter. Share it on whatever social media. Lots of stuff. I just wanted to kind of help open your, not minds, but just get you thinking, get you thinking about what's going on in the background. There's so much just grimy stuff that goes on in the background in this space and in markets in general. But thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. I know today's video was a little bit longer than my usual, but hope you did find some value out of it. My name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.